Hey, I'm James.
I'm Jordy.
And this is the Poets Garden Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It is. This is our first time.
Oh, yes, sir. I can't believe it.
I'm losing my shit right now.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when you give two guys with anxiety and depression a podcast. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, right, Jordy?
Yeah.
It's going to be great. No, it really is.
Okay. I'm just glad we have some cool guests coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's
what this is all about, man. It's creating a space of just love and community.
Yeah.
Getting to know a lot of the talents out there.
Learning about creative people. I love it, man. I love creative people.
Exactly. It's all about creativity. It's been a long time for this to happen. I'm so stoked to be doing this with you, my friend.
Oh, likewise, man.
Just in case you guys don't know, me and Jordy are friends. So
Yeah.
if I treat him like shit,
It's
it's
okay.
all just a joke, okay? It's all totally fine. Right, you fucking idiot? This is it.
You made me start.
Yeah, so happy to do this with you.
Yeah, baby.
Jordy is my brother. We've been friends for a long time, since 5 years old. Went to
Yeah.
school together.
Long time.
Came to my
man.
McDonald's birthday party.
Yeah.
We have a photo of that somewhere, so there's evidence that I did have friends back then. Yeah, anyway. So our first guest on the podcast is Mr. Aaron James. Aaron is an amazing songwriter and singer.
He's a passionate guy.
He's a very passionate guy, yeah, very warm, just like a toasty fire. You know, cook some marshmallows over him, whatever. That wasn't too far, was it? No, that's fine. So anyway, Aaron came out to be our first guest, and he performed for us as well, an original song at the end of this episode. Aaron is also the big brother of my old bandmate and friend, Jeff.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Yeah. Jeff is sadly no longer with us, so I thought it would be a great tribute to have Aaron come on here. So there is some talk about Jeff in the episode, but we don't actually reference that he's Aaron's brother until the second half of the episode. So if you start hearing Jeff's name come up, that's who he is. So miss you, Jeff. Love you, buddy. So this episode is going to be a little longer than the rest, but yeah, it was just a really good time we had with him. So hope you guys enjoy it.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some funny moments for sure. Jordy got a little unhinged.
Did I?
Yeah, that whole blackberry thing. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, so thank you everybody for checking this out. This is episode 1, Aaron James on the Poets Garden Podcast.
Enjoy.
This is it. We're live on the Poets Garden, right?
We are live. This is it, guys.
Wow.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, y'all.
Episode number 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. Thank you.
It's been a very long time coming. I just want to start this off, though, by saying I'm so happy to have you here, man.
Yeah.
For our first guest.
He's been talking about you endlessly
I know,
for
man. Like,
months.
been having all these fantasies and stuff. Like, no.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah. It was very cool to have you here too, playing your music, man. Like to start things
Thank
off,
you.
get
Yeah.
things flowing, man. Aaron was in there doing, what was the name of that song again?
That's Away.
Away.
Yeah.
Right, and that's your favorite song you said that you've written.
I just love playing that song. I love singing it. I play it with my band, Dad Jam.
That's right, yeah.
I play it often at the Bez Arts Hub, my kind of home open mic where I hang out at,
Yeah.
where you guys have experienced now the magic of the Bez, of that room.
Yeah, man.
And I play it wherever people will let me.
Yeah,
holler it at them.
Love that drop
Sing it in the
beat.
streets, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, shit, technical difficulties already.
Oh, I love that drop D in there, man. That's cool.
I'm going to take some notes about
Right?
what I got to
Sound
fix.
beefy.
Yeah. Well, James has got cue cards.
Well, I'm just keeping it here, just in case, right?
Cue the cards.
But I didn't actually write questions.
Already?
I just wrote, I wrote words.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
I don't
awesome,
wanna-
man.
I don't want to delve into that.
I'll just say
naturally.
I'm stoked to be here too. I love you, brother. You know I do.
I love you too, man.
Jordy, we're going to get to know each other over the next little while. We've already been
man.
talking before we're live here or on air or whatever about making some music together. And that is what I'm all about these days. It's my safe space. I often remember this story too because I go busking in Fort Langley a lot now, and that's kind of was I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but that was the birth of this whole music thing for me. Other than going to an open mic at the Bez for the first time, I decided one day to throw my case down in Fort Langley.
Right.
And all right, I guess I'm doing this now. That's what I always say. But
Yeah.
I remember a long, long time ago where Trading Post Brewing is now used to be like a coffee kind of
Country fair
knick-knack
cafe
shop, right?
Yeah.
And I walked in one day, and you and Jeff were playing a gig there.
That's right.
And I remember Jeff told me, he's like, yeah, he pays us in pie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I played Wheat Kings. Pretty sure that was a song I went up and played.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's
that-
Tragically Hip, right?
Yeah, 100%.
okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, come on. That's sacrilege. Come on.
Sorry, I'm not a hip guy.
I think you got to drink for that. Drink.
Okay, yeah,
That's a drink.
There we go.
Don't know the Tragically Hip song?
It's the
Gotta
100th
drink.
Meridian one, whatever that one is.
Right.
That one.
Wheat cakes.
Yeah, fully,
everything.
completely. A terrific hip album. Anyways, I walked in and listened to you guys play a little bit. You guys were jamming.
Yeah.
And and then Jeff said to me, "Well, you gonna play a song?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." I grabbed his guitar. It was an old nylon string. Pretty sure he stole it from the school. And I played Wheat Kings, and that. I don't know if that was the first time I ever played live. It was probably around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this like, had you written a song prior to doing that, or was that kind of the moment that you said, "Oh, like this is what I want to be doing"? Like, is that what started off the songwriting process for you?
Yeah, no, songwriting was never something I took serious back then. It was just, I was like, oh, cool, man. Like the first time I picked up a guitar was probably in the 10th grade, and I took a guitar class, and our guitar teacher, the first song he taught us was Elton John's Crocodile Rock.
Oh, nice.
So we learned, of course, a few chords, and then Crocodile Rock. That was like the first. And of course, you got a bunch of 13, 14-year-old boys singing Crocodile Rock with their, pubescent voices. And,
Yeah.
The la, 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 la. That was, we just gave it everything we had.
Yeah.
But that was really my first introduction to like, oh, this is cool, man. I can play some music. But really like serious songwriting and actually like the moment in time for me where I realized that there was something more to it than just, it made me feel good, made me want to dance, or it was, the background to this. Was in college, a friend of mine introduced me to Ben Harper.
Yeah.
And that was the game changer for me. And I heard Ben do his thing, and he was writing a lot of like breakup songs. And I guess that would have been the Welcome to the Cruel World album was the first Ben Harper I heard.
Okay.
And man, it was a game changer for me. I was like, whoa, there's so much more to this.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up like with parents who played blues in the house or played the Beatles and stuff like that. That wasn't the norm for me. I did hear from my older brother's bedroom, Judas Priest and Michael Jackson. And, he was the oldest in the family, and was kind of left to his own devices in his room. But I remember hearing rock music and popular music from his room for the first time. Other than that, it was music in church.
Right.
And, I was fascinated by listening to the band. That was really the only thing I got into.
That's so funny that you say that, because my experience pretty much exactly the same. Like I wasn't allowed to listen to secular radio.
Sure.
And so it was nothing but Christian music. I think I think up until I was about 13, when my older brother secretly bought me a cassette tape of the Beatles' Let It Be album. And and that really got things going for me, especially the song Let It Be too, because it sort of has like a religious undertone to it. Anyway, so I think that's what got me sort of, exploring other options out there. So,
Yeah. I mean, the Beatles, like, it's so funny. And like really delving into music now and going to open mics and going to shows and meeting performing artists. I mean, they are everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You can just feel their presence in everything that people do. And I've been feeling a real need lately to dig back into that, because for me, the Beatles, I was probably around 13, and I had a buddy, Kelly, and he was, I remember we used to rip around in his old 72 Chevelle, and it's pretty funny. If he ever hears this, he'll laugh at this too, but he would take the hood off in the summers that we drive around, because it was just a rust bucket on the outside, but the motor was in pristine condition. And he took so much pride in that thing. But anyways, sidebar there. But Kelly was like totally into the Beatles, and remember he would play the Beatles, and I was like, nah, this doesn't really. I don't know, man. I just it didn't catch my attention then. But they are starting to now. A few years ago, I saw the movie Yesterday, which is about a guy who wakes up in a world, or has an accident, wakes up in a world where nobody knows the Beatles. And that kind of made me sing, or not sing, but think of the Beatles in a different way.
Right.
But up until that point, fuck the Beatles. That's
you know, it's funny. You see, other than that Let It Be album, see, I never really got into them. Like, I just got into that because it was like new, and it was just like, wow, like, what is this?
Yeah.
But then I didn't, like, especially when I looked at all their early stuff, like the Love Me Do and all this, and I was just like, oh, like, you know, it's quite a change that they went through to get
kind
to
of doo-woppy, and you know,
close your eyes and I'll kiss you.
And I know, like, Strawberry
Shorty
Fields Forever.
chiming in. It's about time, brother.
I would want to, but I don't want to speak over somebody.
No,
fine.
please,
sorry.
speak over.
Yeah, speak over me, man.
So anyways, like,
Well, not now, Dan.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I just had a thought. I had a brain thought, and I lost it.
Oh, no. Brain
no,
thoughts. Yeah.
Well, that's called a brain fart, isn't it?
Yeah. That's actually funny too. You're saying Yesterday got you into the Beatles. For me, like, I have this thing where it's like I can really like an artist's song without liking the artist. Like, for instance, Bob Dylan. I just can't listen to Dylan. And I know he's talented, right? Yep. Amazing songwriter, but I love his songs, and I love other, like, people doing them that I've heard. But it's the same with the Beatles, like with the I Am Sam soundtrack, right? It's all artists redoing Beatles songs, and I absolutely love, like Sarah McLachlan doing Blackbird, right?
Right. That was Sean Penn, right? Was in that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of helped me as well to appreciate a lot of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily, get into, that I feel I should be into. But yeah.
You guys know a lot about the Beatles for not liking them.
Well, I mean, they're the Beatles, man.
Just saying.
We're good to swear on here, right? Because
fucking swear your fucking head off, whatever.
Close your fucking mouth.
sorry if my
No. It's watch your fucking mouth. Watch your fucking mouth. Oh, there it is. All right, now we're loosening up.
So
Sorry.
hopefully my kids don't listen to this, but they might.
Yeah.
So what about you guys? We talked about this prior to going live here.
Yeah.
You guys have made some music in the past, and James, you've put some really cool shit out there, which I enjoyed. And the make believe, though, that's the one.
Make believe,
like, go out and find that, people. This is so cool. Have you got the video up there, James?
Yes, the video's up there. I took down everything that was on Spotify, though.
Yeah.
And it was sort of in this, it was in a very negative headspace when I did it. But at the same time, I was thinking, I would like to redo this. Like, before things are, up there officially, I would like to redo it in a studio where I'm not the engineer, the musician, the mastering, like, I'm doing everything myself. And so listening back, I'm just so critical all the time, and I can't enjoy it. And that's where all of my music led me, was because I'm doing everything. I could never just sit there and enjoy it anymore. It was all about, how do I get the best sound out of everything, every instrument, every part I had to teach myself or whatever, right? Rather than just what it used to be, which was just pick up the guitar or get on the piano and play.
And that's all I would do, is I'd just come in and do my parts, and then James would just do everything else. And I'm like, dude, like,
piece it all together.
This isn't fair. Like
that's what's been driving me, right? And it was enjoyable for a lot of years. Like, I mean, I've been doing this for, 15 to 20 years. So it was, but then it slowly got to a point where I was like, hey, like, why am I not getting to that level I think I should be at? And yeah, I'm very self-critical, more than I should be, but I am still proud of, what I've done. Yes, you are. Yeah. Oh yeah. But at the same time, I am still proud of what I've done. Like, I can still sit there and look at it and be like, wow, okay, yeah, this is what happens when you put in the time and the work, and I can appreciate it for that. It's just the soul of the music for me. before, like when I used to play with Jeff and we'd go downtown Fort Langley busking. And I was probably a way worse guitar player, a way worse singer. But I remember enjoying it more. I remember getting to that point, like when you're in there belting out those high notes and you're just feeling it, right? That was me back then. And I think
I wonder, sorry to interrupt, but is it because of the growth? Like the growth curve, the learning curve is so much steeper when you're first starting out. Like, you know, you can play G, C, D, and then suddenly you learn a B. We were joking about that.
Right. I don't know fucking B, man.
That goddamn B chord. I can
play it on a ukulele. It's a lot easier, but yeah, no, I think.
Is that part of it though? Like the learning curve, do you think? Like I sort of feel like that is for me, like when I learn something new in music or something that like opens another door for me.
It's definitely part of it, yeah, for sure. And definitely too, like when I would play with other musicians and I would learn something too, that I can add this, and that would open up a lot of doors for me too. Yeah. But I think it was more just that when I was first starting out, I mean, I was smoking weed every day. I was just in this headspace of like, just chill and didn't really take anything seriously. David Gray, man, White Ladder.
David Gray, that's right.
I just blasted. Like see, that's what got me into songwriting. Like I listened to music for years. I played music for years, and I'd written a few little songs here and there that were just cheesy.
But he was your guy, though. Yeah. That was like whoa moment.
I remember the exact moment. It was the first time I heard "Sail Away" on the White Ladder album. So I remember I put the whole album on and I smoked a fatty and I was just sitting there chilling. And "Sail Away" came on, and I was just so entranced by it, and the lyrics, everything was just hitting me. Like I was just so much emotion. And I got a little hard too. No, I'm just sorry. I had to do that for you. No. Anyway. I'll edit that out. Don't worry, Jordy.
No, please don't.
But anyway, I still remember that moment where I was just like, holy shit, like I want to do that for other people. Like I want to put my heart into a song and have it affect someone else. Because everything I was feeling was just like, wow, like it just spoke to me. And it was funny because I didn't like David Gray the first time I heard him. I didn't like his voice. I didn't like the electronic drums and all that in the album. I didn't give him a chance. I was like, screw this. And then all of a sudden I bought a Dave Matthews album. And this little insert fell out and it said, this is Dave Matthews' favorite musician. Jordy's heard this story 100 times. And it said David Gray.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, yeah, you have. No, many times, Jordy. Fuck.
Oh, I mean, yes, anyway. Of course.
Anyway.
So many times.
So then I was like, I'm like, Dave Matthews likes this guy. I'll give him a chance.
Yeah. I always knew you liked David Gray. I knew your affinity for him.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Affinity?
Sure.
Yeah.
Jordy? Is it the right word, Jordy? It's not uncouth, is it?
Let me look it up.
Yeah,
you're right.
Okay. Sorry.
On the money there.
Refer to the thesaurus.
Yeah. I have one somewhere.
Yeah, no, I knew you loved David Gray, and I think probably around the same time I was listening to him a little bit too. Yeah. Actually, I do a little cover of Babylon that's
nice.
When I'm busking. I don't know that I've ever played it like live gigging, maybe beer hall gigs or something like that. Yeah, I pull it out once in a while, and I've got my own sort of version of it that's semi-true to the original. Man, it's one thing I really hate playing covers is because I'm not classically trained and I just know a few chords. I don't really know keys. I rely on my capo a lot. I'm working on trying to change that, but I just really want to make a song my own. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like you're doing the artist a disservice if you're just regurgitating that song, because I've heard this in interviews, and actually I've been listening to Dave Grohl's Storyteller, The Storyteller. It's his book that came out a few years back. Been listening to it on audiobook lately, and he talks about that at one point, like learning to fly for the 2,000th time, like and I know there's value in learning a song the way that it's played, but that's just not my strong suit. Maybe it's something I could work on, certainly. But
I have that issue too, I think.
Right.
I just do it like kind of my own way.
Yeah, right.
It's not cheating, but I never play it the same twice almost.
Sure.
So that's what's hard for me, I think, is especially when we're recording.
I love that though, man. I love it when people take a cover and they do make it their own. Like whatever you're feeling when want to play it, right? Like we
Yeah.
did that Britney Spears thing for fun, you know.
Oh yeah.
Come on, what song?
What is it? Hit Me Baby One More Time. Yeah, Hit Me Baby One More Time. And we're like finger picking and making it all folky and stuff. Yeah, it was fun. It was cool.
It's such a cool idea.
That's not what I mean, though. I mean, like, actually playing a song the way it's meant to be played. Like, if you're going to learn a Metallica song, you better learn it the right way.
No, that's
Or
what I'm
everyone's
saying.
like, oh, you're not playing
No,
it
see,
right.
that's the thing right there.
Like,
You just said everyone's going to judge you, so you're doing it.
well,
in the
I have
sense
been
of,
judged
like,
by it. That's what I'm saying.
and that's fine.
Anyway,
but
I'm
I'm
getting
just
off
saying.
topic. I'm sorry.
No, it's not off topic. We're on topic. I'm just saying. I love it when an artist.
Settle down.
I love it when an artist takes a cover and does their own thing with it.
Yes.
Right? Like look at Johnny Cash with "Hurt."
Oh,
Nine
man.
Inch Nails, man.
I think that's a really, really good example. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
amazing.
Unless you were a Nine Inch Nails fan, which Jeff was, by the way.
Yes,
We should talk about that a little bit more. But
definitely
which
will,
Jeff was. You didn't know that song until Johnny Cash put that video out, which is another like lost medium.
Yeah.
That I guess is back now with through other platforms. But yeah, you didn't know that song, and then Johnny Cash sang it, and you're like, wait a second. Who's Nine Inch Nails? Who's Trent Reznor?
Yeah.
And you realize what a fucking genius that guy is, and how he's influenced so many people. I mean,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But I remember when I first heard that, like the Trent Reznor version, man, I was blown away. It's just that bow, 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 bow in the background. Like, it was so powerful. Like, oh man, just shivers.
it makes me think about these songs that we write or these songs that we interpret, and just playing music in general. It really is about, for me anyway, and I feel like this is actually a universal thing for songwriters. It really is about feeling. Mm-hmm. You can sit down and go, I'm going to write a song. This word's going to rhyme, this word's going to rhyme, this one's going to rhyme. It's 1, 2, 1, 2. But the best songs, I know for me, the ones that I've written that I love to play, like a way, like we played earlier. I sat down one day, and that song actually changed over time, but it just started coming out of me. Yeah. You know, it's like, this is going to be a horrible comparison, but it'll be funny too. It's like when you feel nauseous, you're like, I'm going to throw up. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to hate it, but it's going to happen. It's going to feel real good when it's done.
Oh yeah.
And then you vomit, and then you're like, yeah. And then you just put your head on the pillow and go to sleep. I mean, that is that is really what writing a song, a real good song, the best songs, like those are the places they're in you, and they're just waiting to come out. They're just waiting for their moment.
Sometimes you got to stick your finger down your throat to make them come out.
Sometimes you do.
Like, I remember chilling with James.
Absolutely.
We were talking about this, about how long it took to write Village of the Damned, right? Because, like, it was... You told the story better. Like,
Well,
we were sitting
Is that
there
your
for-
song? Village of the Damned?
Yeah, Village of the Damned. It's still my favorite song because it is a dark song, but for me it's uplifting because to me it's just everything is perfect about it. Every line completely conveyed what I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember the night, Jordy showed up and I had a bunch of it written, I think already, right? Like most of the ideas, I think, but then we were outside at my old place there, and Jordy's sitting there with me playing along. He's trying to help me finish lyrics and stuff. And we had writer's block for about a good 3 hours, probably. But Jordy was so patient with me, and he sat out there with me, and we would just take a bit of a break. But it was mostly silent. I remember that we weren't even really talking.
It was just
thinking silent. It was thinking, feeling, and then I remember after the 3 hours, it was like, hey, what about this? And we polished it off. I mean, a couple words got changed later, but that was one of my favorite experiences. So yeah, sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes the songs come to you, it all flows out right away, and you're just like, yeah. Sometimes, you got to put the finger in your throat and just say, I'm not done with this yet.
Yeah.
Let's,
Yeah, maybe
let's
that's like where it's a line or a hook or something that gets in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you text it to yourself, or you write, you scribble it down on a piece of paper, or whatever. Yeah, and then you find that moment of clarity, or moment of silence, or whatever. Like you guys said, you were quiet, and you sit down, and you're like, okay, That's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
I've been going through a little bit of shit myself lately, and like a couple songs have come out of it, and that's kind of what happened. Like I was in a conversation with my good buddy, and we talked about the rose-colored glasses, and I've got a song now called the Rose-Colored Glasses.
Yeah,
and it's eventually it'll come out, and I hope to record it. Maybe here, maybe in the Poets Garden.
Yeah, I'm down.
But yeah, basically, it's just all this stuff that's inside you, and whatever it is you're going through, like eventually it's got to come out.
Yep.
And music is such a wonderful, wonderful medium for that. It just allows us to process our feelings and process all that shit that's going through our head and feel healthy again. Yeah. Feel like we're well again, like we're in that place where we can, okay, I can put my work boots on. I can go to work.
Hell yeah. I like that.
I can go pick up the kids and put some dinner on the table for them, right?
Yeah.
I can deal with. We were talking about your daughter earlier, right? Like, we both have daughters and teenage daughters at that, and and dealing with that stuff. Man, music is a terrific thing. It really is, and I'm so glad to be here today with you guys. And
man, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. It's time to take a little break here.
I gotta pee.
Yeah, let's take.
I heard that on Joe Rogan podcast one time. I gotta pee, and then they take like Rogan pee breaks.
That's great. I was actually thinking this would be a great time.
Cough into the mic, Rogan.
This would actually be a great time for your little segment here. We have a segment we like to do every episode. It's called Jordy Asks Dry Questions. So Jordy, if you want to suck the life out of the room right now.
First I heard of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what would be a good dry question you want to ask today?
Well, let me get my notes.
Oh my God, this is fucking awesome.
Here we go.
Hands or feet, and why?
Hands or feet, and why? Hands. 100%.
Yeah.
Hands. And the why is, I don't know, man, just the connection, like touching with hands. Maybe it's a guitar thing. Maybe it's.
I've seen a guy play guitar with feet before, by the way.
Sounds like
he had no arms.
That's fucking.
I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of sounded like a sexual question, Jordy.
That's kind of where my mind.
That's exactly where I went. But then I'm like, I don't want to say it. Jordy's not going to be happy with me.
See, this is what's good is you can interpret it however you want. But
yeah, so that's not really a dry question. So
it's
okay.
Real.
You got to get drier.
Yeah,
man.
you were going to
throw some fucking sand in your mouth.
He's got to piss.
Speaking about dry,
he's got to piss.
Get a beer.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back with the dry questions with Jordy. Cheers. And now, word from our sponsor, Penny Coffee Shop. Okay, we're outside the Penny Coffee Shop here in downtown Mission, First Ave. We're going to film a little ad for them today for the podcast. They have no idea. This is going to be great. How do I look? Let's do this. It's the Penny. How sick this place is. They got merch, too. This would be a perfect gift for a loved one, eh? I guess we should stand in line and say it. But you want to try one?
Yeah.
Are you buying them? Because I don't have much money.
Oh, God.
Hey, how's it going? Pretty good. This is a cool place.
Oh, thanks.
It's my first time in here.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many kind of cool things to look at down here.
There is, right? You guys have really good gluten-free brownies up there too.
Yes, it is very good. Would you like one of those?
If you have, can we get 2 of those? Yeah, I heard about you guys on the Poets Garden podcast. Have you heard of that?
No, I have not.
It's like a local podcast, I think, from Mission.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm sure our bosses have probably heard of it. Yeah, I don't really listen to podcasts, but.
I'm just going to join almost there. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a great day.
Yeah, see you guys. Okay, let's go. We got it, man.
That was close.
Dude. We got it, man. That was intense. I think they're going to call the police now. Let's go.
Where did we leave off?
We were talking about feet and hands in a sexual nature. That's where we left off.
Sexual nature.
But we don't have to continue down that road.
It was supposed to be a dry question, not a moist question.
Words you should never
Jordy
say.
with the moist and the cue card goes flying.
Think of something real dry that's just going to
Super dry,
suck
man.
the life out of the room here. There's too much life in this room, Jordy.
Blackberry bushes or rose bushes?
Ooh, that's actually not too dry. There's some deep shit with blackberry bushes. Let me tell you, Jordy, let me tell you about blackberry bushes. You're horrible at dry questions, by the way.
No, you were doing great before when we had this idea.
Here's a little story. Here's a little story I got to tell about blackberry bushes I know so well.
Sounds like a song. It
could be. When we were kids, we would grab 10-gallon buckets, shears. Pretty sure we had a ladder too, maybe that came along. And man, we would go. There was a lot of blackberry bushes around that part of South Abbotsford, close to the border of Sumas. And we would fill those buckets up, and like we would get deep into the bushes. Like, and anybody who knows blackberry picking knows all the best berries are at the top of the bush. You got to get deep in the bush.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
deep in the bush, eh, Jordy?
To get the best blackberries. So
The
there you
darker the
go.
berry, the sweeter the juice.
Oh, my brother.
Okay. Okay, so we're at the top of the blackberry bush. Okay. Jordy, you're unhinged. Someone call that door tech.
I didn't expect him to
Get those hinges
expect
fixed.
him to have an actual answer
Dude,
for this.
you got to work on your dry questions. Here, can we try a new segment?
Yeah.
Dry questions with Aaron, because Jordy's
Yeah.
horrible at this.
I know, I'm
Let me give you a lesson.
shocked.
Okay.
Here's a dry question.
Here we go.
Jordy,
Yes.
what's your favorite color?
Green.
All right, it's mine too.
All right.
Okay.
Not really.
Do you want to know why, though?
I don't want to.
Oh, there you go.
Dry
Okay.
questions.
Don't you?
There's a great segment. Jordy asks questions with an English accent.
Oh, yes. Or Scottish, right? Do your
What's your
Scot-
favourite colour?
You are Scottish, aren't you? You're on McCaig, right?
I'm on my cake. That's
Yeah.
right,
So-
Aye, lad.
I'm
So,
the boy.
You may take our podcast, but you'll never take our freedom.
I like it.
I love
Hey,
the Scots.
James,
Yeah.
we should talk about. Let's talk about Jeff.
Yes. Oh, yes. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like that is more than anything. That's our strongest connection.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know when this is going to come out. We've talked about this, but about how you're going to format this, and you want to do a bunch of episodes and whatnot, and then release them all one by one. If it comes out before this date, I apologize to the listeners, but or after this date. Sorry, I apologize to the listeners, but on August 30th, I'm going to do a show with my good buddy, Coco La Rosa. If you haven't listened to him, go check him out, cocolarosa.com.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
cocolarosa.music on Instagram. He's a badass. The guy is a terrific songwriter and an even better human. My favorite kinds of artist. But anyways, August 30th, we're going to be doing, that's a Friday night, we'll be doing a ticketed show at Bricklayer Brewing, which is one of my favorite venues to play. I've played there twice now. And that's going to be a cool show, but it also happens to fall on the 10th anniversary of my brother's passing.
Right. Yeah.
And that is our strongest connection, even more than music, I think. Hey, James?
Yeah, definitely. I remember, when Jeff got you the job there at Westgate, I was playing music with Jeff for quite a while at that point. We were actually going to Fort Langley, and busking, like you said.
Right.
Pretty much every Saturday we had this ritual. We would take the back roads, and we would stop by this one tree. It was this road right between some fields, and there was just one epic tree, and we would always park there. We'd get out, smoke a J, and it was about 5 minutes from downtown Fort Langley. And then, and then we'd finish our journey, show up, have a couple drinks, and play for hours. We would hang out during the week. We would work on our stuff throughout the week, sometimes 3-4 nights a week as well. So it was a huge part of my life playing with Jeff. He definitely helped me. He gave me a lot of confidence in my own music. He was the first person that I played music with, like my own songs. And it really meant a lot. He was always so excited, like if I'd show him a new song. So there came that classic line that he said to me, which I shared with you, which was,
That's right.
He said, "James, your music's like a lottery ticket, and all you got to do is go cash it." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." I mean, hopefully my music would pay as much as a lottery ticket, but it hasn't yet. But anyway, just so that connection I had with Jeff, that always stayed, even though, we didn't hang out as much after that, after we stopped playing music together. There was always that that respect that I had for him as a person, as a songwriter. And yeah, Jeff, just great all around guy. Like I would say even my sense of humor, you know, developed just from joking around with him. Like what a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he sure did. Yeah.
Jeff was never afraid to be the butt of every single joke.
Yeah.
Like,
He definitely was a master of not taking yourself too seriously.
oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, it was the beauty of him. One of the beautiful parts of him. Yeah.
And one of the things I really enjoyed about our relationship was we just weren't afraid to prank the shit out of each other. Like we got in shit so many times. There was so many epic pranks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Jeff liked to cook a bit, right? Like
Yeah,
he was really into his
sure.
food.
Yep.
And I don't know if he ever talked about this Moroccan chicken with you.
No.
Okay. He
No, I don't
loved
know.
this.
Tell me about Moroccan chicken.
I don't know anything about this Moroccan chicken. I just know that Jeff loved it, and he would always talk about it. And I remember one day he brought in some Moroccan chicken, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta try this." And like how he does. And I'm like, "Yeah." And so he gives me a piece,
All right.
and there's right in front of him. I just throw it right in the garbage, and he's like, "What the?
Did it
fuck,
taste like
dude?"
shit or what?
I didn't even eat it. I just threw it right in the garbage.
Didn't even try it.
Didn't even try it. It just,
Which is funny because that's something Jeff would do,
oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He
Well,
would be
this is where it came from. It was just
fuck your chicken.
but yeah, it was just funny. Like, so the, you know, I mean, that wasn't a prank per se, but it just kind of kept growing, you know, to the point where we're just doing these epic pranks to each other.
Hey,
Yeah.
I wonder actually, have we clarified like who Jeff is?
Oh no, we
Have
haven't.
we actually done that?
We haven't. So that's,
Do you want to do that, or do you want me to do that, or should we let
you
Jordy
can go
do it
for it.
in his dry British accent?
yeah.
Jeffrey is Aaron's brother.
Yes.
He's a friend of James from a while back.
A while back.
Nice.
I barely got to know the gentleman,
Oh my god!
but
this is
that's
amazing.
about when I started hanging out with James.
See, that
remember
was
it was
perfect.
very-
That was
yeah.
perfect,
It was a
Jordy.
cold
Very
night.
descriptive. Yeah.
It was devilishly moist in the air.
Oh my God.
For those who actually knew Jeff, like this
Yeah.
is really
Oh,
actually
yeah.
perfect right
Oh,
now.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing him proud right
Oh,
now.
I wish I got to know him, but
Devilishly moist.
I don't know where that came from.
Jeff was my baby bro. He
Yeah.
was the fourth of 5 Wilms kids. And yeah, 10 years ago, August 29th, we got the call that he was not with us anymore. So that's Jeff.
Yeah.
It's my baby bro. I'm going to play a song later
Yep.
in this podcast, and we'll come back to that. But let's get back to shits and giggles, which is
Back to shits and giggles.
back to
quicker.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what Jeff was all about. But yeah, for those of you that are listening that don't know,
Yeah, no, that's definitely important to say. And
that's the Jeff we speak of.
yeah, and
And actually, I'll add to that. Today is my mom's July 21st, 2024. When we're actually recording this podcast is my mom's birthday. It would have been her. My math is horrible. She would have been really fucking old though.
well,
Let's just go with that. I love you, Mom. I miss
Cheers.
you, Mom. Jeff is up there with, let's raise a glass.
here's some
to
others
Jeff,
that
to
aren't with us
Joan,
anymore.
to Ted,
Yep.
my dad,
Yeah.
who Jeff, that was hard on him. I think that was part of what he was dealing with. And you know what? Actually, I want to take this moment here because we've sort of talked, maybe not fully, about dealing with our stuff and what that does to you
Yeah.
and how it can drag you down. And in the context of this podcast, and the purpose of this podcast, talking to musicians about music, what music does for us, the release it is, the space it is that we live in, where we can take all these things, these heavy, heavy things that we carry around with us as fathers, as husbands, as friends, as brothers, and how it allows us to just take all of that baggage and sort it out, man. Just sort it out neatly. Put it in a stack. I have this theory about baggage. I've told this a few times on dates, and I'm pretty sure it's scared some gals away. But I have this theory about baggage. Okay, do I have a second to?
Yeah. Go for it. I'm just readjusting.
So I feel like there's certain kinds of people in this world when it comes to baggage, the shit that we carry around with us. Some people, their shit is strewn across the floor for all to see. They don't clean anything up. They just live in that mess. And then other people, they take it and they go to their linen closet or whatever, and they shove it inside there when people come to visit. And they stuff it in, the old cartoon kind of vision of like the closet like busts open and all the shit falls on the floor.
So Queen's coming to dinner.
Yeah, there you
Clean
go.
this shit up now.
That's right. Yeah. So all your shit is like stuffed in the closet. And then there's people who take their shit and they start folding it neatly, and they go to their closet and they place it in the closet. And when they need this, they're able to pull it out and they're able to
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, compartmentalizing all your stuff. That's really what I'm trying to say with this, but that's my analogy about your stuff. And I really feel like with Jeff, when I think about him now in that context, like, man, he was just stuffing that closet full. And one day it just, the door burst open. It couldn't hold it anymore. And unfortunately, he made a poor decision. And he's not with us anymore. And what a shame, because
I still remember that day.
I miss that dude, man.
Yeah,
I miss
know.
that dude every day, right? Like, how cool would it be for him to be here in this room with us right now?
Yeah. Oh, he would love this. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, we probably wouldn't have gotten a word in edgewise if he were here.
Yeah. No, I have a few ideas of things he might say. I don't know if I'll mention them just for Jordy's sake right now.
Look, man, I'm 50 now. And I'm giving music a go at a latter stage in life, latter than most.
Yeah.
There's some really talented young people I'm meeting out there. And man, I say to myself sometimes, what am I thinking doing this? And then I realize, like, it makes me feel good. I feel the most myself when I'm playing music, making music, talking about music, hanging around people that love music. How could this be wrong?
Exactly, man.
Timing is everything.
And I was actually going to say, like, that's why I was asking, like, did you not really start writing songs until that moment? I was wondering if it was, something that you'd done in the past.
Yeah, it's a great question.
But I think it's great because to me, you sound like a seasoned songwriter. Like the lyrical content, I mean, I'm not a musician, so I'm not like looking at your guitar playing.
Hold on. For the listeners out there,
Sorry.
James lies.
Sorry, no.
The guy can play instruments.
I do. Okay.
No.
But for
You're a
me,
musician.
Just in a different way.
Sorry.
I'm a different musician than, say, someone like Jordy.
And
I
I'm
can't use a
different
pen.
than
Anyway, I'm just saying,
Aaron.
I'm not looking at you, say, playing guitar and like watching your, like what chords you're playing or whatever. I'm not that type of musician. I'm sitting there listening to the soul of the music, right?
Yeah.
Like everything together.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
it's the emotion behind it. And when I heard you play live, especially, it was just like, holy shit! Like it to me, it feels like you've been doing this your whole life. Like,
So you're talking about authenticity.
exactly.
And we've had this conversation through a text, right? And I believe what I said to you was that word authenticity gets thrown around way too liberally nowadays. It really does. Because you can be a great technical musician. And there is value in that. Absolutely there is. We need those people. Guys like you and I need those people.
Yeah.
who know a couple of chords and we understand a bit of melody.
Yeah.
Jordy, you talked about that too, right? But at the heart of music is the heart. It's the heart of a person. Like you can connect to hit me, baby, one more time. Maybe at takes you back to a certain place or a certain time in your life. But for me, man, I will never, ever let go of that. That is something I will cling to as long as I write music. And it's, you know, what's that old saying, right? You can't write the blues unless you've had the blues.
Right. Yeah. Life experience. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why you're able to, you know, tap into that, because you have life experience. And that is the reason to, like, for me, as to why you sound like a seasoned songwriter, right? Because you've gone through all these emotions. You might not have been expressing it in the same way in your earlier years, right? But the fact that you, you know, got to this point,
I hear often when I go to shows and stuff, people talk about, like, I'm going to play some sad songs, or, you know, this one's kind of a downer and this and that. And it's like, I get it. I get why they're saying that. They, you know, they want to, you know,
justify it somehow.
Yeah, they want to justify what. Yeah, thank you. But honestly, man, like, for me, when I play a song, I want to go up. I want to tell the people, this is where I was in my head when I wrote this song. This is what was going on, and this is what came out of it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really it, man.
See, that's authentic songwriting, though. Because you're actually writing it in the time of when you're in that space, right? Like,
yeah, maybe not always right in that time.
Right,
But maybe you're slightly
that's how it
removed,
started,
or even years removed.
or, you know, but you remember that's how it began. You were in a certain space, or
I've got a song called I haven't played it much. I think I played it once at the Bez at an open mic. It's called All the Things We Aren't, and it's a retrospective, and it's looking back on this road trip I took years and years ago, where a friend had a car that was in BC, and he gave me a bunch of money, and he's like, here's this money. I want you to drive this car to Winnipeg for me and deliver it there. And he said, and I'll pay for your flight home.
sketchy.
And
Sorry.
no, it wasn't sketchy at all, actually. It's
Just don't look at the
legit. I actually started doing the math. I'm like, oh, he gave me all this money. He gave me this much time to drive the car. Well, if I can do it in a day, I'll make a bit of cash. So I did. I actually drove to Kelowna that night, stayed overnight at my buddy's place in Kelowna, and the next day I drove from Kelowna to Winnipeg, and I did it in 21 hours.
Wow.
Stopped in like Brooks, Alberta, and anyways, there's some other pretty funny stories that I won't bring up on this, but oh man, I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. But
Happens to me all the time.
yeah, right. But basically, that the song I wrote, All the Things That We Aren't, it was about the headspace, like going back and thinking about the headspace that I was in at that time in my life, set against the backdrop of driving across the prairies.
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of a cool song. Someday, maybe I'll record it. I feel like it's one of those songs I've written that it needs something more. It still needs time to grow up. We were talking about the song Scared, which I think I'll probably play later for you guys.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But that song, when I first wrote it, it was something different. It was an 8-minute long, this droning kind of sad song, and then it turned one night into this upbeat, banging, really powerful. It found its legs. It found who it was. Much like we are as people, as humans, we go through life and we learn things and we hang on to things. We let things go, and we find what our real values are, who we are as a person, and then it just becomes this thing. And even then, every time we play it, it changes a little bit. So.
Yeah, no,
That's not very dry, what you're talking about here right now.
Wait,
Should we go for another dry
saying,
Jordy
man.
We're
question?
still.
Jeez.
Yeah, Jordy, come on. You haven't even given us
deep
one
over
yet.
here.
Something real dry, Jordy.
Like, tight.
What?
Uh,
You're on the spot.
This section is called Jordy on the Spot.
It's like, I want to say something really
Is it light
funny.
shining in my eyes?
No, that's the beauty of being dry. You don't have to be funny. You just have to be British. Maybe try doing it in your British accent, which was wonderful, by the way.
Oatmeal or mortar? Which would you rather eat?
Oh, say again, sorry.
Mortar.
Mortar. like brick juice, asphalt.
No, what was the first choice, though?
I don't know what I'm
Sorry, I'm totally being serious. What was it? Oatmeal
Yeah.
or
mortar.
mortar. So like mortar that goes between bricks?
Yes.
Fuck, dude. I'm not eating mortar. Just give me a bowl of oatmeal.
These are
When I was a kid, come on.
so. These are some of the driest things that I can think of that
Yeah,
are still moist. Though. You know what I mean?
Going with literal dry
Dry
questions.
things that are
questions
still
that
a
are
little
moist.
moist.
You're getting closer.
Okay, we're getting better. We're getting better.
I got a dry question that's moist for you, Jordy.
Sure.
If you had to lose one testicle, would it be the left or the right?
The middle one.
Oh, shit.
That's not a testicle.
We got like a Chandler Bing situation going on here. Got a little south of the border.
Oh, my God.
Oh
Good
boy.
shit.
Guys, thanks so much. Jordy, thanks for your dry British humor.
Yeah, that was great, man.
Appreciate you coming down.
James, thanks for your hospitality.
Hey, thank you so much for being here, man. Everyone check out Aaron James on Spotify. He's got a song Lessons and Weapons up right now, and you're working on a new one called
Better late than never, which is a little bit late, but better late than never. I just want to say, too, like, this is so cool what you guys have here, James, what you've created.
Yeah.
Keep rolling, buddy.
Thanks, man. No, that's great
Get
to
in
hear.
here, get on the podcast with Poets Garden with James and Jordy. Come sit down in this cool space they've created. Have a beer or don't have a beer.
I was
Yeah,
so
don't get
skeptical at first. And
Why?
This
You were
whole
quite
experience
Why,
has just,
Jordy? Why?
has just opened my eyes.
Because Jordy hears all the shit that I say when we're not on there.
Right. Nice. Awesome. Shall we?
So, yeah, let's do it, man. Thank you so much for being here,
Thanks,
Aaron. I'm really stoked to hear what you have coming up in the future. Everyone check him out. Go check him
Yeah.
playing at the Bez
Can I
around town.
give my Instagram thing
Yeah,
a quote
dude,
and a
go
couple
for
other
it. Yeah.
things? Do you
Yeah,
mind
yeah.
if I?
Yeah, no,
I
that's what it's all about.
Music Aaron James. That's music AARON James on Instagram.
Aaron. Awesome. All
You're
right,
the
man.
fittest 50-year-old I've ever met in my life.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that yet. You are a gorgeous man, Aaron. Right. I don't know what
The
it
first
is.
night of the Bez, man, I was like, what?
I'm
What
working.
did I
on
say?
it.
I think I said I would let him donkey kick me right in the face.
Some. I remember
So
that.
that when I came to, there'd be little Aaron Jameses flying around my head.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That was a
All right.
horrible joke.
Sorry, guys. All right.
guys.
We're going to
You
head to
guys
the
are
studio
beauties.
here. Check out Aaron James playing his song,
Aaron James.
Scared.
Scared,
Yes, sir.
on the Postcard Podcast.
So this is my original song that I wrote after watching the Johnny Cash documentary. This is Scared. This is for Johnny Cash and for Ted, my dad. I heard the man in black ran out of things to say. His pain turned him sour again. Boy, he lost his way. Every man is just a man. Without a purpose in his heart, and it's never too long till he tears himself apart. Ooh, the devil's coming for you, babe. Yes, he is. Better get yourself ready. Get yourself prepared. Ooh, what more can I tell you? Yeah, darling, sweet darling, you ain't living.
unless you're scared. Yeah, yeah. Unless you're scared. Yeah, yeah. Some are drawn by the golden things of life. Others seekless. Hey, yeah. Suffering comes the fire, oh yeah. Wakes him each and every day, yeah. Life is faster than anything. Thinks he has it all before time will embrace him. Must fight for. Ooh, the devil's coming for you, babe. Yes, he is. Better get yourself ready. Get yourself ready. Ooh, what more can I tell you? Yeah, I said, darling, sweet darling, you ain't living unless you're scared. Yeah, yeah. Unless you're scared. Yeah, yeah. We are only dust. All the things we've written, we are not what others might say about us. While we've been busy living, a single tear on my father's cheek, it fell silently. It said more to me about him than he had ever said to me. Oh yeah, I said, ooh, the devil's coming for you, babe. Yes, he is. Better get yourself ready. Get yourself prepared. Ooh, what more can I tell you? Yeah, I said, darling, sweet darling, you ain't living unless you're scared. You ain't living, 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 you ain't living unless you're scared. Spin the Poet's Garden. I'm Aaron James. Follow me at Music Aaron James on Instagram. You can find me on Spotify. With more to come. Thank you so much to James and Jordy for having me. I've had a wonderful afternoon getting about. Cheers, folks. I hope you enjoyed it.
The Poets Garden podcast is produced and recorded by me, James Donnelly, at the Poets Garden Studio in Mission, BC. You can subscribe and rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and almost everywhere else. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. To avoid potential legal action, the Poets Garden podcast is not sponsored by the Penny Coffee Shop, yet. So next time you're in Mission, stop by the Penny for a coffee or a gluten-free brownie and say you heard about them on the Poets Garden podcast. Thank you for listening.